Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're reconvening to open session. F, announcements of action taken in closed session. Ms. Ambriz?
Yes, good evening. This evening in closed session, the board voted as follows. Employee number 170476, a probationary certificated employee serving as a teacher, is released upon the close of this current school year and is not reelected for employment for the next succeeding school year, and the superintendent or designee shall provide the employee with appropriate written notice. And this was on a motion of Trustee Lorenzo Calderon and a second by Trustee Alvarado. And voting for approval were Trustee Ciro Calderon, Trustee Lorenzo Calderon Jr., Trustee Richard Romero, and Trustee Enrique Alvarado. There were no dissenting votes, no abstaining votes, and one trustee absent, Trustee Mike Castillo. And that is all.
Thank you, Ms. Ambriz. Those were the only actions taken in closed session. G, public hearing. G1, public hearing to consider certain findings, prerequisites to award of energy conservation service contracts and related equipment lease purchase agreements. Do we have any requests or any concerns for? No. There is no concerns or questions regarding this item. We all now go to H, presentation.
To open the hearing.
Oh,
and close.
You're right. Open the hearing. Mm-hmm. Do we have any questions or concerns regarding this item?
Close.
No, thank you. We're now closing this item, G1. We go on to H, presentation, H1, Z Global, recognition.
Yes.
Sure. If we can have the representation or representatives from Z Global.
And so here we go.
Mr. Sweet and Mr. Martinez, on behalf of this school board, we'd like to present to you. Well, let me get around here.
Yeah. And we're also going to have Mr. Alex Jaime come up as well, because he's going to speak a few words as well.
My name is Lorenzo Calderon, president of the school board. We have the rest of the trustees. On behalf of this board, we'd like to present this plaque for the good things you do for our community and our school. On behalf of this board, please accept this recognition. All right. Again, thank you for helping us out.
And for community awareness, Z Global is recognized this evening for many reasons, but hopefully I say his name correct, Mr. Ziad Aliwan is the owner and CEO of Z Global, and he believes in investing in the communities that his company is working in. Although Z Global has made contributions to the Imperial Valley community at large, Z Global has also made significant investments within the Calexico community. Z Global has given over 90 scholarships in the form of technology to Calexico students over the last couple of years, 60 computers and 30 tablets. And this is so that students can use them as they pursue their education. And they also have assisted needy families, especially during the holiday season at Christmas, with monetary gifts to help towards feeding families. And I would attribute the work that Z Global does and Mr. Aliwan's legacy to an attribute that was given to Abraham Lincoln, that no man stands so tall as when he stoops to help a child. So thank you, Z Global and Mr. Aliwan and representatives.
And if I may ask that you two gentlemen stay right there because we want to continue to see you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Ms. Ambriz just took everything I had to say. But I do want to say that even though these two young men did not sit next to me when they walked in, and there was plenty of seats, mind you, I sat there and I wondered, okay, I woke up and I knew I was having a bad hair day. So is it my hair? And then I'm thinking it might be my bad breath. Then it dawned on me, it's because every time I see them, I ask them for donations for computers, so they're keeping away from me. But I must reiterate that what you do for our students, our gratitude, appreciation, we applaud you, we commend you. And I know other people approach you just now. I heard somebody approaching you. I see a lot of principals of elementaries and teachers. Know that your little ones are the same ones getting these computers at the high school level. So we've made the contact through Ms. Norma Galindo, through one of our IID directors. We thank you once again. I merit to say that Mr. Martinez, Hector Martinez, is an alumnus of Calexico High School and is now an associate engineer with Z Global. And Mr. Sweet is the managing director and also a consultant here in their El Centro office. Their main office is in Folsom, California. They did start in 2005 with 3 employees, and they now have over 50, I believe, in the 12-year span. So they are doing something right, and I believe that part of that is giving back to the community. We thank you once again. We applaud you once again.
Thank you very much.
He's also one of our former students.
Yeah. Thank you again, Z Global. We go on to I, comments from the public. The board will take any and all comments from the public related to an item on the agenda or any item of district business that is not on the agenda. The first request we have is Jose Cosio.
Oh, thank you. My name's Jose Cosio. I live at 434 Smoke Tree Drive in El Centro. And fortunately, I was dressed properly. I was in the north side of El Centro when they called me at 4:35 to be here for a meeting at 5. And really, I wasn't ready for this, but they've asked me to come and talk about a softball program, and really in reference to one particular girl. Now, to kind of lay a little background, I've been teaching, coaching our softball since '89 on my own. And see, Global, pay attention. I've been on my own at Starkfield, free of charge. And I've had quite a few girls from Calexico come over. Just to name a few, Masi Burgos, or Danielle, who doesn't want to pitch anymore, used to come to me when she was 9, 10 years old. And Alisa Reina. Then there was Carla Soto, got a scholarship 2 years ago. Casey Casares got a scholarship last year. Of course, Masi and Michelle Roldan. And I taught them how to pitch. I also had one girl that I taught how to pitch, but she was from Central. She got invited to the Olympic trials. Didn't go because she had just given birth. And then I had a girl, 11-year-old, named a 12 and under All-American at 11. And she was pitching for 14 and under teams ever since then. So my deal was, they asked me to come and talk particularly about Liz Vasquez. I started working with Liz when she was 9. And she stayed with our team, and we always have pretty good teams. We're always first place, second place, even though travel teams, they take most of the good girls and they kind of brainwash them and take them from other teams. Well, Liz went 1 year and then came back, and she beat us while she was with this travel team. She came back. And so last year we had 8 girls that played with us playing JV. This year there was 6 girls that had played with us playing for the varsity, and 6 others JV. Now they asked me to talk about Liz, how good she was. And the only thing I can do is I compare when I seen some of her games last year. And for example, they were playing a pretty strong team from Imperial, and Calexico was behind 4-2. And one of the main girls that they've been using with varsity, Liz relieved her, and she flat stopped them. They won that game 6-4. They didn't do anything against Liz. And I seen some of the games last year. This year I was coaching, so most of our games coincided with the varsity. But I did see a couple games, and unfortunately Liz didn't get to play, and other girls. And parents were asking me, why would a coach not use players against Hopeville? I mean, there was a mercy rule. Calexico won over 20 runs, and yet there's Liz and other players that had been there the whole season didn't get to play. And they want me to say how bad the coach was, but I'm not qualified for that because I've never seen his practices, and I only seen a few of the games because, like I said, I was coaching, and our teams, our games kind of coincide with Calexico's games. So the thing is, they asked me to come and talk to the board about why players like Liz. Liz has proven herself. I seen her pitch in Calexico, in Mexicali. She held her own. I coached Mexicali and Baja All-Stars for 8 years.
Cosio?
Yes.
There's a 3-minute limit. So
okay. And so my thing was that they'd have asked me to come and talk about players like Liz. All season long, didn't get to play, even like against teams of Hopeville. So as far as the bad coaching, I'm not qualified for that, but I know that Liz and other players are pretty good but never got to play. And that's what I was asked to come in for. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker is Cristina Costa.
I need my phone for this. Good evening, everybody. I'm here speaking as a parent, and I want to be very clear with that so that there's no misconception that I'm here speaking as a parent. At the last meeting, June 8th, I said I would be coming to these meetings and I'm going to be a voice for many parents who have concerns regarding the Calexico High School athletic program. And I will continue to come to these meetings and share different parent stories, however long it takes for change to happen. So there are parents that still need me to be that voice for them because they feel that they will be retaliated against. Although this school board has assured me that they will not tolerate any of that, there are still parents that are very concerned about that happening. Tonight I'm going to share with you not my personal story, because last time I was accused of being too general in my comments in an email I received the very next day after I spoke. Now, mind you, I only received 3 minutes to talk, so I was trying to get into many concerns as I can, but rest assured I will be making copies with details so that the board members will have handy within the next week. So this is not for me. This comes from a parent, which actually follows up with the gentleman that just spoke. This is her letter from this mother, from this parent. My nightmare begins, so these are her words that I'm speaking for her. My nightmare begins with Mr. Niebla, whom I can't refer to as coach. The varsity softball coach harbored favoritism and nepotism throughout the season. Mr. Niebla resigned from being a baseball coach to become the softball coach to cater to the needs of his daughter, who did not make varsity but was pulled up by him. He had his favorite players and didn't give this young lady, a senior, an opportunity to play. The parents complained about the coach, not the team members, and followed the chain of command with the athletic director, Mr. Lopez, vice principal, Mr. Flores, and principal, Mrs. Williams, with no favorable outcome. Not once did they talk to them, but twice. These meetings were not kept confidential. Someone leaked the information to parents and students to the point that the student and the family received retaliatory measures. This young lady, a senior, was ripped away from her senior softball year because the coach did not give her the opportunity to play after these meetings, even though the principal and the athletics director spoke to him. Can you imagine how frustrating and discouraging and sad it is to go to each game and not see your child play, to the point that it affects the student's health? Not to mention the hours of practice invested by her giving up everything family reunions, gatherings, even a funeral. They even traveled to Las Vegas, a tournament where the principal said she was on the lineup to play. Yes, she was only given 5 minutes out of 6 games and out of a 3-day tournament. 5 minutes. According to the principal, Mr. Nieblas was highly recommended from the top, and he was untouchable. The message I got was that he could get away with murder and it would be okay. Most surprising is that he is an educator, one that should teach fair play, integrity, and honesty. Good coaches understand that they are working with living, breathing, feeling humans and include every player. This is unacceptable behavior. Someone should be responsible for it. How many more students have to suffer from this before you, the board, take action and control of this? Thank you for your time, and I will continue to speak on behalf of all these parents that need a voice.
Thank you, Ms. Costa. Daniel Lopez.
Hello, my name is Daniel Lopez. I am the trumpet section leader for the school marching band. There was an incident about 2 weeks before school ended where fellow section leaders were having a meeting with Miss Williams concerning our band camp and other programs for the band. And she would make promises that she can't keep, and it was basically a he said, she said game with us, and I felt like it felt useless to waste our time and put our effort to put in the work for our program and for her to just to like say, oh, okay, we'll do it, but never happen. And it's not fair for us as leaders and our band director Navarrete for trying to make the band program better for the school and the community. And I feel like it's a waste of our time. If we can get up every day like 7 in the morning, I'm pretty sure they can do the same for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, Denise Espinosa.
Hi, my name is Denise Espinosa. I was here last board meeting, and I would like to start off I'm going to read because it's a lot. First of all, I would like to start out by voicing out certain opinions regarding a series of events that have affected the Calexico High School band students and to me personally as well. My name is Denise Espinosa, and I am currently the head drum major at CHS. To start off, I would like to state that our band has more than 220 students dedicated and that have dedicated countless hours of our time practicing in school and out of school, making sure that we can be the best to represent our city of Calexico. That being said, I believe that we, the entire 220 plus students and I, deserve our even share of support regarding our administration at our high school. This entire year, we have been going through some rough challenges that I believe are unnecessary. This year, our band director, Carlos Navarrete, was notified that he was going to be transferred. Due to that, our amount of support, we, the drum majors and the section leaders, decided to organize ourselves and push to find a solution to keep him in our program. The day of the board meeting, June 8th, we sent an informative letter to our students and to their parents, letting them know that what was going on in reference to the transfer and their support at the board meeting, and that would be much appreciated. Keeping in mind that all of this, which was planned thoroughly strict without students, no administration, parents, nor teachers had any involvement whatsoever in the direction that we went about keeping our band director. Soon after Mr. Navarrete had been notified about his transfer, he no longer had any jurisdiction in reference to what we should do in regards to our summer school band program. Our summer schools is absolutely vital to the success in our program. Since Mr. Navarrete no longer had any jurisdiction over this, we, the section leaders and I, were left to organize meetings after meetings with intent to solve these unsettled issues with our head of administration, Principal Gabrielle Williams. I can tell you that 2 weeks or a week and a half went by full of meetings that were absolutely resolved nothing. We were given instructions and promised outcomes, but when we returned, we're met with excuses and random obstacles that had not been mentioned beforehand. We feel taken advantage of and honestly stupid. The fact that we were ignorant in plenty of aspects regarding the procedures and how we went about things and organized things affected us completely because we were blindsided by our principal, and she effectively managed to get our hopes up and waste our time. How can our head of administration use this phrase, "Oh, I didn't know," when in the previous year she had gone through the same process? How is it that the way that we had been doing things were okay and approved by her and the district, and now she seems to have forgotten everything? It seems all a little bit too convenient. Frustration is an understatement to express how we felt. We do nothing but our part in representing our school, but receive deceit and lies in return. It gets hard to be in the position that I'm in as one of the student leaders to have to go back and to say that our efforts were not enough. How much more will we have to deal with till we gain the slightest of our support and administration? As if that were not enough, on the last day I was summoned to Mrs. Williams' office and was interrogated by her. Her and Mrs. Dreesen, our teacher at Calexico High School, greeted me and began to question me right away. I knew nothing as to why or what her intentions were for this interrogation and felt uncomfortable. I had never been in a situation like this beforehand. She asked questions that I had noticed were intended to get names and detailed specifications regarding the process in which we had been supporting and keeping Mr. Navarrete position at CHS. Regardless of that, I just really want to state that personally I have never been in that situation, and I believe that these struggles that we have been through are too much, and I'm sorry if I was too forward in regards to the actions that were taken upon, but I think that specification at this point help us in our aspect. So I hope that these statements or these words do not fall upon deaf ears. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next speaker is Arturo Calderon.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Arturo Calderon, my wife Ivana Espinosa, and we are here to support our kids, our band kids. And in all honesty, I am really upset about this interrogation that happened. I don't think it should have happened the way it did. I wasn't even notified about what was happening. My wife wasn't even notified about what was happening. And in all honesty, I just hope something gets done here, because we can't keep going the way we are with our current principal. And that's all I have to say about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is Ana Cantu.
Good afternoon. My name is Ana Cantu, and I believe we lack much support from our administration. I am a student from drill and would like to voice from our side, with hope that more attention is placed in our authority, is being managed within our high school. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any others? You want? Wait.
Hi, everybody. I'm Luz Tristan. I'm a pediatrician, local pediatrician here in Calexico. The reason that I'm here is because I have a program. I'm the medical director, and Patti Carrascosa is the program director. This
Tristan, can you introduce yourself? Because I was supposed to call out your name just for the record, so you know who. Who's
Dr. Luz Tristan.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm a pediatrician.
All right, thank you.
Here in Calexico. Thank you. I was telling you, I have a program for children, underserved children that are overweight, obese, or morbidly obese. This program is supported by Heffernan Board. It's free of charge for these patients. We have served so far 163 kids since last year. This program is based on education about nutrition. They get physical exercise from Monday through Friday, an hour a day. We have kids from 2 years to 18 years of age. We teach them about proper nutrition, exercise, and we also have psychological coaching for them. The main problem that we're facing right now, we can teach them about healthy choices, but if at home, they don't follow the same that we're teaching them, they can sometimes they can't follow the recommendations. The other problem is school. The food that they have opportunity to choose sometimes is not the best one. Sometimes they have choices that are not that healthy. So I'm coming here to you today to see if in any way we can cooperate and we can work together to have better choices for these kids. Not only for them that are already having problems, but for all the kids, to have healthier children with less problems. As an adult, you don't want to have obesity and all the problems related to obesity. So I don't know in which form we can cooperate, work together to make the school lunches healthier for our kids. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Tristan. We move on to J. Consent agenda. All items appearing will be acted upon by one motion without discussion unless any items are pulled for separate consideration and action.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Calderon, second by Alvarado. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item is approved by the majority of the vote. Or board. We go on to K, informational items. K1, superintendent's report.
Yes, good evening, trustees and community. Just a very brief report. Summer school has started. We have our sites ready to go and being well attended so far, so it promises to be a very good summer school. In line with what Dr. Tristan, I believe her name is Dr. Tristan, shared, I did have an opportunity a couple of days ago to meet with a gentleman who also works with the Heffernan board. His name is Jose Ramirez. He's one of the he's a teacher in El Centro, a physical education teacher in El Centro, and he also is a co-owner of Flex Gymnasium here in town. And so he actually shared with me about how they want to have an ongoing, through the Heffernan board, an ongoing program throughout the year to take these 180 children and provide them opportunities for exercise, teach them appropriate exercise, appropriate diet, to help meet with parents, have meetings with parents, and explain to them about good nutrition. And so one of the things that I will be providing him is a letter that he will also be presenting to the Heffernan board that the school district is willing to support healthy activity and a partnership for a better health and lifestyle for our students. And so just we're coming up on the end of the month, and we probably won't have another board meeting another regular board meeting until after July the 4th. So have a happy 4th of July.
Thank you, Ms. Zambriz. Association comments, ACC? No comments? Thank you, Ms. Torres. CSCA? Ms. Rodona?
She stepped out.
Sure. K3, ROP committee?
Had a meeting last Thursday on the 15th, and they're just excited about the one-year contract. They want to come in and provide services. Hopefully, it helps out. I think it will help out greatly. But as stated before, hopefully have an open mind as far as it goes and see if not, then like how we stated, just go ahead and hold the contract. But they are excited to be coming in. That's it.
Thank you, Trustee Alvarado. K4, board reports. These are informational reports by board members. No action is taken. We'll start with Mr. Trustee Romero.
No report.
No report. Trustee Calderon.
Yes, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our board meeting. I am glad to see parents, and I'm glad to see parents that come and speak on behalf of their children and other children. I'm glad to see parents that are here to speak up. Yes, Mr. President?
What's that?
Oh, I thought you had said something.
Oh, no.
I'm glad to see other parents that are here to speak up on those parents that feel that they cannot speak up that are in danger of retaliation. I'm just letting you know that, again, this board will not stand for those practices. Okay, you should not fear coming to this board or filing a complaint against anybody in fear of retaliation. This board is not going to stand up to that. It's not going to stand up to those practices anymore. Okay, feel confident. Then at least myself, I will make those comments here in public if need to, because nobody wants to work in a place where they feel that they have to keep quiet when they see something wrong. And you have my promise on that. Okay. On lighter news, I'm glad that Dr. Tristan is here tonight and to talk about ways that we can help our children. I thank you for being here tonight, and I would encourage you to make an appointment with our superintendent and bring your ideas and see what is it that we can do. I'm pretty sure the board would like to hear those ideas and how is it that we can help our children stay healthy and get healthier. Thank you, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Calderon. Trustee Alvarado.
Just to reiterate what Mr. Calderon stated, thank you guys for coming out and voicing your guys' concerns. Think all of us as a board, we sit here, want to provide the best education for you guys, safest environment for you guys that develops your guys' minds, gets you more involved in the system. With that said, I want to thank the administrators that are here present today also as well. Dr. Tristan, thank you for coming out and talking a little bit about the program, what you guys have been planning to offer. But I just want to leave it as that, and hopefully positive things will start coming out, from this point on out. And I apologize, on my behalf. It's not going to happen on my watch. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Alvarado. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to echo the same thing that my fellow trustees said in regards to students always come first, and thank you for showing up. I'd like to start by congratulating the class of 2017. I wish you the best of luck in whatever career you choose. Also, I would like to thank the parents or guardians of these students for keeping them focused throughout their school years. I think we graduated 647, and that was a good number. So I wish you the best, and hopefully you can come back and say that you're representing Calexico. Also, today I'd like to touch on something. Last Saturday, my son and I took it upon ourselves to create a video using a drone of our sports complex that we have now, and I'm sure some of you have had an opportunity to see this. Well, this video somehow made some of our staff uncomfortable. But with that said, I'd like to, if I did offend anyone or someone or anyone felt uncomfortable over this video, I'd like to say I'd like to apologize. I can tell you that my intentions were not malicious in any way or form, but merely to inform the community of what past and present Board of Trustees could accomplish when sharing the same vision, creating a better learning environment for our students. And I think that to this board is important. I had a longer version of my report, but I'm going to go ahead and just show you something, or show you the video, and you be the judge as to where this district is going. Hello. Okay, we'll go on now to L1. I'm sorry, L, actions item, consideration, action / approval of all the following items. L1, approval of local control and accountability plan, LCAP, for school year 2017 through 2018.
I believe there are copies of what I'm about to read, but I am required to read it into record. At the last board meeting, we had a public hearing and the presentation of the LCAP for the 2017-18 school year. And so there were a couple of questions that were posed during the public hearing, and as a result, we've provided the response in writing, and I believe there's copies of that here, and it's also been posted on our website. And so this is what was posted. A comment and question was made regarding Goal 4, Action 4 of the LCAP during the June 8, 2017 LCAP public hearing. It was stated that teachers are asked to promote student attendance but are not provided with incentives other than little dog tags. As a result, teachers are having to pay for incentives such as pizza parties and are not being reimbursed. So the question asked is, how is money being spent and why is cost being passed on to teachers? The response to that question is sites spend funds on different activities. Sites purchase, for example, ribbons, bumper stickers, certificates, tags, lanyards, water bottles, bracelets, pencils, medals, bookmarks, and shirts. Some sites offer free dress days, game day, class monthly trophy, 1-minute challenges, example, the mannequin, coupons for an ASB store, a trip to the movies, a trip to the CHS pool, and or participation at a BMX show. A number of classes also offer pizza parties, ice cream socials, and or snow cones. Sites have different ways of organizing expenditures for activities. Teachers are not asked nor requested to purchase or pay for incentives. Teachers are not told that they cannot request reimbursements. Some sites have teachers talk to principals about purchasing incentives prior to making an expense in order to get approval, and in return submit a reimbursement form. Other sites have a Student of the Month committee organizing the events and reimburse the teachers who purchase materials that particular month. There are sites that have administration purchase all incentives and have not had teacher request reimbursements. Other sites, depending on the LCAP or ASB budget, give teachers the option to host one celebration per year. Many teachers tend to buy food, desserts, and or incentives on a constant basis to reward students for different accomplishments. Many teachers do not inform principals and or do not submit reimbursements. In planning for next year, a recommendation was made to clarify that a celebration does not need to involve purchasing items, but if needed, every teacher could be budgeted an amount in order for them to host a celebration. This would, in addition to administration purchasing school-wide incentives. There was also a comment and question made regarding Goal 4 and the migrant program. A statement was made that the migrant program was encroaching on the general fund, and it was mentioned that the migrant coordinator and other migrant personnel salaries were over-encroaching the general fund, and only what is allocated in the program should be spent. So the question asked was, how much is it encroaching? And by it, they meant the migrant program. The response is that as per CDE Migrant Fiscal Handbook, for MEP funds, that would be the Migrant Education Program, there is not statutory language limiting administrative funds for the state subgrantees. However, some programs have a requirement that a specified percentage be spent on direct services to students. For example, Education Code Section 63001 requires public educational agencies to spend no less than 85% of funds received from specific categorical programs, including Title I Part A, at school sites for direct services to students. The maximum allowable for administrative costs, including indirect costs, is 15%. Although the MEP is specifically exempted from this statute, it is California's policy that the MEP will aim to approximate this goal and thereby direct the preponderance of funds towards direct services to students. Keeping in mind that the MEP is required to fulfill several unique administrative functions and that some counties have high indirect cost rates, the CDE will set MEP-specific administrative caps for expenditures and administration in the 2015-16 school year in the past via a supplement to this handbook to be completed later in that following spring. Currently, for Calexico Unified, the migrant office assistant and the migrant specialist salaries are funded through the migrant budget, which is 15% of administrative costs. The migrant coordinator salary is the only encroachment to the LCAP or LCFF. The purpose of the Migrant Education Program is to ensure that migrant children fully benefit from the same public education provided to other children. The MEP addresses the special educational needs of all migrant children to better enable them to achieve academic success. CUSD is able to meet goals set by MEP with the assistance of the District Migrant Coordinator. Our District Migrant Coordinator develops and oversees the Migrant District Service Agreement, supervises staff and programs, collects and submits required documentation, ensures that funds are expended appropriately, promotes the migrant program through communication and monthly parent meetings, and works with community agencies. And that is in response to the two questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ambriz. Trustees, do we have any concerns, questions?
I just have a comment. And as many of you know, I'm a school counselor, school teacher. And before I do anything, I do ask my principal if I can do this or that, if I can go and buy, if I'm going to get reimbursed. And of course, he has never said no. Honestly, he has never said no. So I don't see why our teachers cannot go and buy stuff at Walmart, wherever they want to go, and get reimbursed if it's going to benefit our students. If we have money for conferences, if we have money to send our teachers and administrators and other people to faraway places, why is it that it's going to be a problem paying a teacher $50 to go and get pizza? I just don't get it. I don't know if that's what pizza costs. I don't know. I'm just saying. So hopefully this administration sees the benefit of rewarding our students, okay? Because the way that I see it, a little pen, you should see the faces on kids when they get little pencils. Little pencils like this that maybe have a turtle. For us, it's no big deal. But when you give that second grader a little pencil because he got student of the month, he has that pencil like we will hold he shares that pencil like we will hold having a brand new car. Okay? So, it might cost a little bit of money, yes. However, what is it that we're getting in return in the long run? Those kids doing better, those kids being motivated to do better in school. So let's just follow protocol and try to get things in order before we do anything. And I have asked today to our superintendent, but I did it late today, so I don't expect that response until later today, until later this week, about a hierarchy. I don't know if I should say that word, hierarchy of yes, the hierarchy of our district. Okay, started with the superintendent down. What is it that each person does, and who is it that works under that person? Okay, because I want to see exactly what is it that our money is going, especially because we're talking about LCAP. I want to see what is it that everybody's supposed to do, and what is it that everybody is supposed to be helping. So, and I did it late today, so I wasn't expecting it today because I did it late today. So, again, it's the taxpayers' money. It is not my money. It is not our money. It is the taxpayers' money. It's Calexico taxpayers' money. So they need, if they have questions, if they have concerns, they should be able to come and voice those concerns. And I'm glad, Maria, that you responded to those questions, okay? Because it's all about transparency. Where is our taxpayer money going?
And I will give credit to getting that response on paper to Mrs. Elisa Ramirez. So I want to give credit where credit is due.
Thank you, Mrs. Ramirez, for the help. So, and that's, do we need a motion?
I got one question.
Sure.
I didn't hear, how much is the general fund subsidizing the migrant program? I mean, I heard a lot of information, but I didn't hear a specific number.
Yeah, it would be the salary of the migrant program coordinator, and I don't have that number with me, unfortunately. It's probably with benefits.
So the migrant program is not being properly funded then? We're not getting enough money for the program?
No, we get money for the program. The issue is that we cannot use more than 15% of those funds on salaries for personnel. 85% has to be targeted to the students. So
therefore we have to subsidize it?
Yes.
I know last time Diane Harvey asked a question.
Correct. And one of the things is that in past years, and I'll just say it, I give kudos to Mrs. Limon Sandoval. I believe this is her second year in this role. But in prior years, when that particular duty was embedded in another position. So the migrant program itself is a full-time position, and so it was treated as one umbrella of somebody else's overarching job. So we actually had to return money because it was not expended properly and in time. And so one of the things that we do is we're able to have somebody who can fully supervise the program, we're able to expend the funding properly, appropriately, and not have to return any of these because these are federal funds actually. So.
Okay, thank you.
Problem.
Trustees,
I made a motion.
You got a
I made a motion, yes, to approve.
Motion by Calderon to approve.
I'll second.
Second by Romero. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion, voting in favor of this item is Romero, Calderon, Castillo absent, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. L2, approval of 2017-2018 adopted budget.
And as far as I no, go ahead. As far as I know, even though we approved the budget, it is work in progress. We can always, right?
It's always work in progress.
It's always work in progress.
Absolutely. These are so. What I'm going to present is the projected estimated actuals for the current year, and then the adopted budget for 17-18 as to what and all of this information is based on the best estimates that have given by the state of California at this particular point in time. Okay. Oh, did it come out that way? Oh, okay. Thank you. You can go ahead. Okay, so as a part of the process, the 2016-17 estimated actuals is referred to as the third interim, which is it's our just a period for us to estimate how we plan to close the year. And again, these are estimates based on our expenditures and revenue and just kind of where we are at a particular point in time, which would be through May of 2017. Through this process, we update the revenue. We reduce and update the categorical budgets based on spending to project carryover in the current year. We analyze all general fund revenues and expenditures, and again, we estimate our ending fund balance for the current year, and that's what happens during this time. The projections constitute, again, our best estimate and how the district will finish in its finances for the 16-17 fiscal year. The final results won't be known until August, as we're working on closing the books for the 16-17 year, and will be presented to the board as a part of the unaudited actuals in mid-September of this year. Our projected general fund totals for the current year, our total general fund ending fund balance for 16-17 is approximately a little over $8 million, with approximately 6.8 in unrestricted, and in restricted a little over $1.1 million. This is a net decrease between restricted and unrestricted of about $9.1 million from the previous year. And things to take into consideration is that the district is funding facility projects. There's the ERP project, and we've gone with an additional $2 million this year in our textbook adoption. So these things are very costly, and they are unrestricted, and we funded them out of the unrestricted general fund. So let's take a look at the 17-18 budget. The sources of guidance, like I said, we use our best information from these authorities in education: the Imperial County Office of Education, California Department of Education, School Services of California, and other related professional services that specialize in school finance. Some 2017-18 budget assumptions, just the district maintains its best fiscal practices. We estimate the revenues based on those four entities that were previously mentioned. our LCFF gap. We're looking at an LCFF gap funding to calculate our state funding aid of approximately 22.88%. What's included in this budget is the changes in statutory benefit percentages. Federal revenues remain status quo, and there was a decrease to special education. We budgeted for the district's approved indirect cost rate. We budgeted the lottery funds based on the school services dartboard mandated costs. The block grant was included of $28 per ADA and $56 per ADA for 9 through 12. The K through 3 grade span adjustment was included. State categorical programs received flat funding, so there was really no increase in the funding. The one-time discretionary funds were not budgeted in this budget because they haven't necessarily been approved by, since the governor hasn't adopted the budget yet, we don't know if we're going to receive the one-time dollars and when. There was some talk at the May revise that the governor was going to approve about $170 or so per ADA, but the districts wouldn't receive it until May of 2019. Well, we certainly don't want to include that in our budget, because then there's probably the probability we'd never get it. But there has been some talk around the state that the governor has changed his mind, and that there's a good chance that the districts will receive that one-time money, which is approximately $1.3 million in the 17-18 school year. But it's not budgeted because it's uncertain at this particular point in time. ERP money was also budgeted for in this budget, and that has to do with our lighting projects that are happening, which were approved at our previous board meeting to support that project. We had some carryover from our one-time educator effectiveness grant, and also some additional CTE funding carryover was included in these budget assumptions. For expenditures, the district takes there's the 1,000s to the 7,000s, and we take a look at the expenditures in these categories. The 1,000s are the certificated salaries. What's included in the budget are ongoing and established positions through the LCAP process, salary and stipend increases for possible negotiated settlements, step and column increases, and cost of living adjustments. And the very same thing for the classified salaries and benefits, which are the 2,000s. In the 3,000s, those are the employee benefits, which include our excessive workers' comp premium increases, significant increases in our PERS and STIRS rates, our statutory benefit increase, again to accommodate step and column, and also possible negotiated settlement agreements. There was no increase for the 17-18 year in the medical insurance, and also cost of living increases were included in this category. In the 4,000s, we have included to continue adopting textbooks, but to stagger those adoptions out to where we've reduced instead of $4 million a year in textbooks, we've put it down to about $1 million to $1.5 million to adopt by grade level is what we're doing, so that we don't get hit with such significant costs for textbooks. The district doesn't receive any, if and when the state does their textbook adoptions, the district doesn't receive any additional support for textbooks. And over the last 2 fiscal years, we have spent almost anywhere from $5 to $6 million on textbooks. So it's very expensive to go through a textbook adoption. So staggering that process is very important in our budget, because we just can't sustain $3 and $4 million a year just for textbooks. We purchased, again, there will be purchasing of supplemental materials through the LCAP process, updating and upgrading technology district-wide through the LCAP process as well. And again, we'd have to stagger that because technology is also very expensive, and we just can't sustain spending, having these large expenditures and be able to operate in the black. And again, we will continue to use our categorical dollars and spend those always first, and then rely on our unrestricted general fund. In our 5,000s, there will be a decrease in travel and conferences and various unrestricted and categorical programs. In this area, there's removal of previous board approved projects for facilities that fall within this category as well. But in this category, there are things that have increased, like the cost for security. As the current contract is written, or we're kind of on a month-to-month where there is that elevated cost for security services, and we're currently out to bid for security services, so we're hoping to recoup and reclaim some of those costs. And one of our other bids is to, which is also a part of the LCAP too, is to take a look at security cameras, because we know how much a security system, to kind of put us all on the same security system, that's like, well, 2 or 3 years ago it was $6 million to do that. So add inflation to that, so easily probably $7 million, in excess of $7 million too. So looking at some, security cameras, a less expensive way to help secure the campus in addition to our security services. Our insurance plan administrator costs have gone up as the cost of salaries go up, the cost of workers' comp goes up, and the plan administrator, all of those costs are associated with that, and those are rising costs. Our legal fees are increasing as we have different things in the district. Legal fees increase, and our contracted services, they with different types of contracts, different vendors, you will see some increases in contracted services, as well as utilities have increased. We had increased our budget in this year minimally $150,000 to accommodate the pool with the water and all of that. So these are all costs that increase year over year. So those things need to be encumbered and referenced here in the budget to accommodate those expenditures. In addition, in the 6,000, that's our capital outlay. Those are for our large projects. And again, there's a partial funding to offset. In the current year budget, it's about $300,000 in the LCAP to offset the shortfall of revenue from the RDA pass-through funds that the district did not get. So there's that issue. There is modernization, and that was a directive of the wish of the board to spread out that $1.4 million over the course of years to accommodate that expense. Modernization of the Calexico athletics field. That's something that's happening. So you're going to see those costs here in the 6,000s, and purchasing of new vehicles and shade structures are all part of the LCAP, and those are where these items are budgeted here. Budget assumptions. Also, in the 7,000s, the general fund to fully fund the annual COPS payment. Transfer of revenue for special ed and the county services or county operated programs has increased significantly, which is incorporated in the budget. The use of our approved indirect cost rates are included here, and the allowable charge of our indirect to our categorical programs is also under this this range. Again, the grade span adjustment is included in our budget, and currently the district operates at 24-to-1 grade span adjustment district-wide. Our multi-year projections. So the district, through the budget process, keep going. One more. Oh, okay. The district, through the budget process, is required to present a 3-year projection, which would go through June 30th of 2020. The district, again, it's a requirement, and due to the new transparency requirement, the amount in excess of the 3% reserve requirement must be referenced and made available to the public. As of June 30th, 2018, the district is looking at a reserve of a little over $4.4 million, where the required reserve is $3.5. And by June 30th of 2019, an ending fund balance of $3.6 million, where the required reserve is $3.4. And June 30th of 2020, a balance of $2.9, where the required reserve is $3.4. So the district, based on its projections and what we currently know activity-wise around the state, we are about $521,000. Go ahead. We don't have the required 3% reserve in the 19-20 school year. And we're very close to our reserve in the 18-19 school year. It's, again, my recommendation that the district, we don't take this lightly. That's kind of a scary place to be or to think about being. And that we as a administrative team, along with the board, work together to figure out ways to increase our ending fund balance. There are, and through planning meetings at board meetings or whatever it is, but we have to come up with a plan in order to increase our fund balance so that we do minimally meet our 3% reserve moving out of the June 30th of 20 fiscal year. Deficit spending. As mentioned above, we have seen a significant decrease in our ending fund balance. Deficit spending currently permanently reduces the fund balance and can make it difficult to meet our obligations. Again, the district is projecting to be short about $522,000 in the 19-20 fiscal year. Again, there may be changes. This is based on the latest, greatest information that we have from the state and all of the other entities that give us the information. And at our interim periods, it could change our budget certification from a positive to a qualified or negative, or have that positive or negative impact on our budget. Just some information, and I like to share this slide with the trustees at every presentation that I do, so that you have an idea of that we're not fully funded as a district through this LCFF revenue. So in the current year, which is 16-17, the target, or what we should get, is a little over $96.5 million. The minimum that we would get from the state would be $85.3 million. And when you kind of add the current year gap percentage, the total of what we're getting is a little over $91.5 million. So just off the top, if we were getting what we should get as a school district, we're easily $5 million less in the current year. So imagine even the 15-16 year and the year before that, all of the minimally $5 million a year that we do not get. So this is just to show, and if you look at our total expenditures, if we're only getting $91 million from the state, but our expenditures are significantly higher than that, then we are deficit spending. So this is just, for a reference, just so that you see that we're entitled to more, but the state doesn't give us what we should get based on our ADA. Cash flow. So at this point in time, we are not projecting to have a negative cash balance through the years 16-17 and 17-18. However, as we get closer to our ending fund balance, or as close as our balance gets to our reserve, well, then cash comes into play. We have to very carefully watch cash, because there isn't that flexibility when you have a higher ending fund balance, because technically you have the cash in the bank as well. So we would definitely have to keep a very close eye on cash to make sure that we always have a sufficient amount of cash and not run out of cash. And the district does have the availability to go out at a cost to borrow cash. It's called a TRAN, where you can borrow against your taxes for cash, and which we've done that in the past. Many districts do it. It's nothing uncommon. We haven't had to do it in a long time because we've had a overflow of cash with restricted cash itself. So it just makes it cash has to be very, very closely monitored, especially in those years where we're very close to our 3% reserve. Okay. On our other funds, we do have other funds that are operated by the district. Our adult ed fund, which the budget to operate the adult ed program is about $605,000. Our child development fund is projected to have a budget of about $367,000, and our cafeteria fund is certainly operating in the black, and they have an ending fund balance that is substantial. And we also have the spending plan that's been CDE approved, and they adhere to the spending plan and spend down those reserves as appropriate. In our our Fund 14, our deferred maintenance program, and the purpose of this fund is what we use it for our AC maintenance, and we make a contribution from the unrestricted general fund for this fund because we don't receive any additional support from the state for deferred maintenance. So this also comes out of those LCFF dollars to make that contribution for Fund 14. Our bond fund. This fund is houses the remaining funds that are in trust from a former bond, and that will be held until that bond is fully repaid, in addition to the recently passed Measure V bonds. Fund 25 is our capital facilities fund, where we use this fund to collect our developer fees. And again, due to the uncertainty of developer fees and what the district is paid in developer fees, more than likely, starting the 18-19 school year, we're going to have to make a contribution, which is it's projected in there, so that we can continue to maintain our lease payments for all of our portable buildings. And those are quite significant. Our payments are in excess of $200,000 a year for our trailers. Or portable buildings. Our capital projects fund is Fund 49, and again, this fund also has funds in trust for bond proceeds until it's paid in full. And our Fund 67, which is our self-insurance fund, and this fund is operating in the black for our vision and dental program. So my recommendation, so there is no certification right here, right now. This is adopted budget. Where the certification comes in is at the first interim and second interim period. There is no, it's just adopting the budget. Based on the projections on how we close and what we project the budget to be for 17-18. Like Mr. Calderon mentioned, this is our budget, and can there be adjustments made to the budget? Yes, there can. We will make any updates specifically if whatever information that becomes new at the unaudited actuals portion, which is in August and September, what's presented to the board. We hope to have a passed budget from the state where if there's new information or that can be incorporated, where hopefully we close better than what we are projecting to, which then again, that affects the ending fund balance and would affect it in the current year and its subsequent years. Again, like I said, along with the leadership team, strategically plan to increase the reserve / ending fund balance. And my recommendation for this evening is to approve and adopt the 2017-18 budget. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
I want to commend you and your staff for a wonderful report. I am concerned that we've gone from last year 30% in reserves to now 5%. Mm-hmm. So we got to make sure that we're diligent in how we spend future revenues.
Correct.
Especially in 2020, where we might not meet the 3% reserve.
Correct.
But once again, you did a wonderful job, and I commend you for that.
Thank you very much.
So there's a lot of ifs. If
Yes.
we spend this money, if the budget, if it goes up or down, or if the governor does this or that. So, again, I feel the same way. We just need to keep. We just need to make sure that we watch what we spend. There's a lot of ifs, and this could work in our favor, but also against us. So, but we'll deal with those as they come. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I'll make a motion to approve on that.
Motion by Alvarado,
Second.
second by Calderon. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor of this item, Romero, Calderon, Castillo absent, Alvarado, Calderon Jr. L3, agreement, a renewal between Neidhart and Calexico Unified School District for the retiree actuarial valuation.
Okay, let's see. All right, good evening again, trustees. What this agreement is, it's since our district operates a retiree health benefit program, which we offer benefits to our employees during retirement. This is a report or an actuarial evaluation of costs, and it's for information and under GASB 45 and 75. This is a biannual report that happens, and it allows for our auditors, when they come and audit our finances, to include these costs because they are liabilities to the district and give an actuarial value as to what our projected retiree benefits liability is for the district.
Who hires these companies? Or in this case, who hired this company?
This is a company we've used for probably the last 10 years, and we just call them every other year and just ask them, can they provide an actuarial report?
Does this company work with any other districts in the valley?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
That part I'm not sure on that.
Okay.
But I know they've done our actuarial since I've been here, and it's been 5.5 years since I've been here. So.
Okay.
I move that we approve the renewal.
Well, Ms. Randall, do they look at the numbers and actually give us guidance as to what we need to do if we need to, kind of tweak our budget or for our retirees?
This is more for the liability cost for and what it looks like, but as far as giving advice on making recommendations, no, they don't. They just,
projections?
This is just the projected cost for retiree and this is just for retiree benefits.
And they take into account life expectancy.
Correct, life expectancy, and then they take a look at everyone that's on the plan when they're going to, what do you call it? Not graduate off the plan, but then expecting, who's, coming back on the plan, like that type of thing, through attrition, and then new folks retiring, and then, you have some people that retire, let's just say our benefits go through 65. Well, you have some people that retire at 55, which means they're going to receive our retiree benefits for 10 good years, and then what that financially looks like. But then you also have some people that may retire at 64, which means they're really going to receive the retiree benefit for 1 year. So that, they take a look at the big scope and the big liability cost for the district and project it out over a series of time.
Trustee Romero, you had a motion to approve?
Yes, I mean.
I'll second it. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion voting in favor of this item, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, absent, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. L5, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Hawthorne Milfin Hardcourt Publishing Company to purchase core LEA.
No, just skip one.
It's L4?
Yeah, L4.
Yeah.
Oh, correction, I'm sorry. Agreement renewal between Calexico Unified School District and Asset Works LLC for inventory and management services.
This item is a renewal of our current agreement. Asset Works is a company that it's an inventory management system that we store all of our capital assets in there, and it gives us, it helps us keep inventory for our capital assets as well as for depreciation and all of those things. So this is the software that we use. We're looking to extend or enter back into agreement with Asset Works for the 17-18 school year, with the ability to have 2 full user accesses and 2 view only access users. And this is an annual agreement.
Questions,
I
trustees?
move we approve.
Second.
Moved by Romero, second by Alvarado. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Voting in favor of this item, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, absent, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. L5, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Hawthorne Milfin Hardcourt Publishing Company to purchase core ELA Intervention Read 180 Universal Curriculum for teachers and students, license, hosting and software, on-site coaching, secondary site for Aurora, Enrique Camarena, and Willie Moreno.
And this program is being purchased as an ELA intervention program for the secondary level for the next school year. There were 2 programs that were piloted, and Read 180 was the one that was chosen by the committee. So they were piloted this year. They took a vote, and they want to stay with Read 180. And so the cost includes the program itself and on-site coaching. And they would be out of Title I, so it would be categorical funding.
A good program. I move to approve.
Go ahead.
I'll move to approve.
Second. Motion by Calderon, second by Calderon Jr. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor of this item, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, absent, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. L6, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Hawthorne Milfin Hardcourt Publishing Company for the purchasing of ELA Intervention Read 180 Universal Implementation Service, Professional Development and G, support for secondary sites for Aurora, Enrique Camarena, and Willie Moreno.
This is to provide the actual professional development for our staff and to be able to provide the technical support as needed. And it's also, the cost would be encumbered through the Title I.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Alvarado, second by Calderon Jr. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor of the item, Romero, Calderon, Castillo absent, Alvarado and Calderon Jr. L7, Memorandum of Understanding between Calexico Unified School District and Benchmark Education in regards to professional development for grades K-5.
Mr. President, can you hold on a minute? Sure. Just computer glitches, I'm sorry. They were fixed.
So for L7, if approved, this agreement would allow for district-wide kinder through fifth grade staff to receive training in the areas of writing and integrated and designated ELD, and the cost would be encumbered through Title I.
I move we approve.
Motion by Romero, second by Calderon Jr. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor of the item, Romero, Calderon, Castillo absent, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. L8, Memorandum of Understanding between Calexico Unified School District and the Imperial County of Education in regards to district-wide professional development for August 17, 2017 in core subject areas.
And so this agreement would allow for district-wide staff to receive professional development on August 17th when we start off our 2017-18 school year, and the professional development will be inclusive of math strategies, increasing rigor writing, ELD, and next generation science standards, and the fiscal impact would be encumbered through Title I as well.
I move to approve.
Second.
Second by Alvarado. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor of this item, Romero, Calderon, Castillo absent, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. L9, Memorandum of Understanding between Calexico Unified School District and the Imperial County Office of Education Curriculum Teacher Induction Program for 2017 through 2018 school year.
And this is something that we do every single year. Although the fiscal impact is undetermined, it's dependent upon the amount of participating teachers and support providers. However, the cost will be encumbered under the Educator Effectiveness Grant.
I move to approve.
All right, I'll second that.
Second by Alvarado. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor of this item, Romero, Calderon, Castillo absent, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. L10, Revised Single Plan for Student Achievement for 2016-2017 for the following schools: Blanche Charles, Cesar Chavez Elementary, Dual Elementary, Jefferson Elementary, Kennedy Gardens Elementary, Main School Elementary, Rockwood Elementary, Enrique Camarena Junior High, Willie Moreno Junior High, and Calexico Unified School District, and Aurora High.
And so this is the revision of the single plan for this year. Now that we finished out the year, you know exactly what we did, and that's what the revision is all about.
Motion to approve.
I move to approve.
Motion by Mr. Calderon.
Second.
Second by Romero. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Voting in favor of this item, Romero, Calderon, Castillo absent, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. L11.
Yep.
Single plan for student achievement for 2017 through 2018 for the following schools: Blanche Charles Elementary, Cesar Chavez Elementary, Dual Elementary, Jefferson Elementary, Kennedy Gardens Elementary, Mains Elementary, Rockwood Elementary, Enrique Camarena Junior High, and Willie Moreno Junior High, Calexico High, and Aurora High.
And the single plan for the 2017-18 school year is intended to outline how schools throughout the district will be utilizing their categorical funding, and it's recommended that the board approve these plans.
Motion.
Motion by Alvarado, second by Calderon Jr. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor of this item, Romero, Calderon, Castillo absent, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. L12, awarding the RFP number 4 for 2017-01 food and paper products on behalf of Imperial County Schools for Food Services Cooperative in agreement with fiscal year 2017 through 2018.
And so being able to purchase through the co-op allows our food services department to purchase food and paper products at lower prices because we belong to the cooperative. And the co-op is managed by different school districts each year, and I believe for this school year, it is Calexico's year to manage the co-op, and that's why we're going out for.
I motion to approve.
I'll second.
Second by Calderon. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor of this item, Romero, Calderon, Castillo absent, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. L13, resolution to adopt the findings necessary to approve the Energy Conservation Service contract and financing agreement.
And this one,
Does it have a cost? What?
I'm not sure.
Okay. The findings.
That's Miss Randall's. And that's why.
13, L13.
On my notes.
Good evening again, trustees. What you have here before you is the resolution to adopt the necessary findings for the energy conservation. This is the Prop 39 funds. If the board recalls back in, I think in February, this is with the Climatech agreement and all of that, where we decided to go with the option 2 and receive financing for the additional energy conservation measures district-wide. And at that time, there was a finance company, but due to a change in the direction of that bank, we lost the financing. Well, since then, we have been able to secure the financing for the other piece so that we can do those cost-saving measures district-wide. In the name of that company is PNC Bank. And here you have, it's kind of reapproving what was already approved back in February or March for Climatech.
Differences from the
Pardon?
prior contract that we're going to have with other banks?
So the difference is the rate. We just got final documents, and they'll be legal reviewed for final approval. But the rate did go down. So the monthly payment will go down a little bit. But we just got final docs like today, and they'll be legal reviewed before we officially sign off on them. But the rate did go down, and again, we still have that guarantee from Climatech, which is the.
What's the percentage that went down? Do you have any idea?
Oh, is it, is that? Oh, you put that there for me. Thank you.
271.
It went down. It went down to, and it was locked today at 2.71%, and which is, it lowered it by over $4,670 a year payment. So it did go down.
Alvarado, second by Calderon Jr. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 It's a
Voting in
resolution, right?
Oh, is there a resolution?
roll call.
Roll call.
So this is a roll call. Romero,
Yes.
Calderon,
Yes.
Alvarado,
Yes.
yes. Calderon Jr., yes. Motion passes.
Thank you.
I was. L14, resolution regarding disposition of surplus compressed natural gas pump and card reader equipment at Maintenance and Operations Department.
And we're requesting from the board permission to surplus and recycle what are now the inoperable CNG pumps and all the related equipment that are at our warehouse. And it's all of the equipment that's outside the gate because we still have our district pumps that are inside the gate.
So moved.
So Romero moves, second by Alvarado. Romero,
Yes.
Calderon,
Yes.
Alvarado,
Yes.
Calderon Jr., yes, with Castillo absent. L15, resolution regarding disposition of surplus asset, non-asset technology equipment at Blanche Charles.
And here we are requesting board authorization to surplus equipment at Blanche Charles that is no longer usable. And so it's a
Motion.
roll call.
Second.
Motion second by Alvarado. It's a
Roll call.
roll call. Romero.
Yes.
Calderon.
Yes.
Alvarado.
Yes.
Calderon Jr., yes. And with Mr. Castillo absent. L16, authorization to seek proposal for energy, emergency, and HVAC prevention maintenance services for the fiscal year of 2017 to 2018.
Good evening, Board. So I'm requesting permission to officially go out to bid to seek proposals for an HVAC company to provide those preventative maintenance services for us. Currently, we're using an outside source that was board approved. I would just like to make it official and go out to bid to get some more competitive bids for the service.
And how would you propose to do that? Newspaper, TV, YouTube, all that?
The standards of newspaper. That's all you have to do is for, I believe it's 10 business days, advertise it in a local newspaper, and you met the requirement.
Okay.
But now we can go a step further and invite bidders to come and bid on that. So,
Or just make sure that you put it out there for everybody to know that.
we have to by law. Yeah.
But I mean, you say newspaper, but we also have our own website. Which it could be done on the website and just.
I'm not sure. Can we do that on the website?
I don't.
He's saying
I've
yes.
never seen it, so, but-
He's saying yes.
But you can,
Do we put our bids on? I don't recall us putting our bids on the website.
No. Advertise that we have this, that we are accepting applications or bids.
So what we do is we invite our current bidders that we do, like say, for HVAC services, we have a vendor approved list that they're already an approved vendor of the district. We just invite all of our already district approved vendors to give a proposal, to take a look at the bid and present or provide a proposal to the district.
And non-approved vendors, how would they know from the newspaper? So can we take it a step further and maybe put it on our website that we accepting bids, things like that? Because
I can confirm that we can do it that way, but I don't recall us ever doing that in the past, but we can certainly.
I just want to be fair to everybody. And if we have new companies coming to the valley all the time. We want to make sure that we open it for everybody. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I motion to approve.
I'll second.
Second by Calderon. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor, Romero, Calderon, Castillo absent, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. L17, acceptance of personal property claims for Ingracia Gonzalez.
And it's recommended that the board accept this claim so that we can pay Ms. Ingracia Gonzalez for damage to her vehicle at one of our schools. One of our students kicked the soccer ball, shattered her windshield, so we'd like for you to accept.
I motion to approve.
Second.
Second by Calderon. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor of this item, Romero, Calderon, Castillo absent, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. L18, acceptance of personal property claim for Ms. Candelaria Martinez.
It is recommended that the board accept this personal claim of $499.99 for Ms. Candelaria Martinez for a cell phone that was lost due to negligence of an employee.
I move we reject this.
Was this?
I can't see the rationale behind this.
There's actually a board policy.
Is there a board policy?
Yeah, and there's an amount.
Yeah.
I still move to reject.
Based on the circumstances, I think, I motion,
Well, I made a motion so it could die for lack of a second.
Well, it dies for a second, so I motion to approve this claim.
I'll second with comments, with the discussion.
And second by Calderon. Go ahead, Mr. Calderon.
And I know in the past we had said that we had talked about this and about people or students leaving stuff and in their classrooms and things like that. So we just need to Maria, you need to remind your administrators to educate their students and staff regarding being a little bit more careful with these phones and tablets and technology. What?
No, I'm just telling you to go into
Our
the
phones,
information that we have available,
yeah.
so you can know what we're paying for.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying, and we just need to be careful, and we need to educate our staff and students that these things cost money. So
can I make a comment?
Sure.
Also? Cool. When did this take effect? Because my daughter was a student here a couple of years back, and somebody stole her cell phone, and we were never allotted that.
Well, I think if you
I'm just asking. I just
it was caused by one of our staff.
Yes.
For this individual to lose the cell phone.
So it was our staff's fault.
Well, there's information in the computer if you want to look at it. I can't.
Yeah. We just need to be more careful because.
Well, and I understand, and that's one of the reasons, Trustee Alvarado, that the board came with a resolution to not only have certain criteria, who we're going to reimburse, and also kind of an amount that we're going to pay, because we all know that smartphones nowadays go for $800, $900, and so forth. So, thousands, and depending on what you get. So, and that's. Yeah. And if you look at the information that's included here, I think it speaks for itself. Yeah. So like I said, I motion to approve this claim.
I second it.
Second by Calderon. All those in favor, please state aye.
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 Opposed.
Voting in favor of this item, Calderon, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. Opposed is Romero and Castillo absent. L19, approval of accounts payable pre-list.
So moved.
Moved by Romero, second by Calderon Jr. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor of this item, Romero, Calderon, Castillo absent, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. L20, first reading, Board Policy 530, Student Wellness.
So moved.
Moved by Romero, second by Calderon Jr. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor of this item, Romero, Calderon, with Castillo absent, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. L21, second reading of revised Board Policy 427 and Administrative Regulation 427, temporary athletic team coaches. I motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Second by Calderon. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor of this item, Romero, Calderon, Castillo absent, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. L22, reading of Board Policy and Administrative Regulation 541.52, suicide prevention. I motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Second by Calderon. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Voting in favor of this item, Romero, Calderon, Castillo absent, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. L23, Certificated Employment Report.
Was there nothing on this? No, none. I'll move to approve.
Was there any changes?
There was no changes?
No, not on the certificated.
No?
Okay, not on the certificated.
Okay.
Yes.
Who motion?
I did.
Motion by Calderon, second by Calderon Jr. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor of this item, Romero, Calderon, Castillo absent, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. L24, Classified Employment Report.
I would like to make the motion with the...
Right, and the names to table under page 1, extra hours, Eunice Benitez for Accounting Assistant 2, Armando Montoya III for Custodian at Aurora, and Gabriela Murillo, Accounting Assistant 3. So those three would be
Yes,
tabled.
that's my motion. with the exception of those names that Mr. Gonzalez has just mentioned.
Second.
Second by Romero. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor of this item, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, absent, Alvarado, and Calderon, Jr. M, reconvene to early closed session. We're not going into closed session. And reconvene from open session. O, announcement of actions taken in closed session. None. P, do we have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So moved.
Motion by Romero, second by Alvarado. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor of this item, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, absent, Alvarado, and Calderon, Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, good night, and thank you for coming and joining us today.